All right, let's talk about one of the most critical parts of any job, the first few weeks. I'm talking about onboarding. So often, it's just a mountain of paperwork and boring videos, right? Well, today, we're going to dive into how you can turn that whole process on its head. We're going to explore how to make it a powerful, engaging experience that actually makes your best people want to stick around for the long haul. Let's get into it.
So, here's our game plan. First, we'll look at the real, hard costs of bad onboarding. Then, we're going to talk about a big shift towards interactive learning. After that, we'll check out the cool tools you can use, lay out a step-by-step blueprint to get you started, and finally, we'll see just how big the payoff is when you nail that first impression.
Okay, so first things first, let's talk about the stakes here. A bad first week isn't just a little awkward. It's a huge financial risk for a company. You have to remember, onboarding is the very first real look an employee gets at how you actually do things. And believe me, that impression, it can make or break their entire career with you.
And just look at how quickly things can go south. 28%. That's how many new hires are willing to just walk away within the first 3 months, all because their onboarding experience was a letdown. That is a massive and, frankly, very expensive revolving door. But on the flip side, and this is where it gets really exciting, look at the opportunity. Companies that actually have a strong, well-thought-out onboarding process, they see a staggering 82% improvement in new hire retention. The gap between a good start and a bad one is just enormous. It turns what could be a loss into a long-term win.
And you know, this isn't some rare, isolated issue. The vast majority of companies are just failing here. With only 12% of people giving their onboarding a real thumbs up, it shows there's this huge disconnect between what people need and what they're actually getting.
So, if that's the problem, what's the actual solution? Well, it's not just about getting more organized, it's about a complete mindset shift. Getting away from those passive, one-way info dumps and moving towards active, hands-on engagement.
And the difference is just wild. The old way, endless slide decks, boring lectures, people barely retain 8% of that information. But when you get them involved, learning by doing things, that retention can skyrocket up to 60%. It's the difference between being talked at and actually being part of the process.
One of the key strategies here is something called microlearning. So instead of hitting a new hire with an 8-hour fire hose of information on day one, you break it all down. You deliver it in these small, manageable 5 to 10-minute chunks. This approach totally beats the forgetting curve, and it gives people a sense of making real progress right away.
Okay, so we get it. We need to be more interactive. But what does that actually look like in practice? Well, this next part is all about the specific tools and technologies that bring this whole philosophy to life.
The modern onboarding toolkit is actually really diverse. You've got everything from simple welcome videos that set the tone, to interactive e-learning modules with little quizzes, all the way to fun, gamified challenges. And of course, you cannot forget the human element. Things like buddy programs that build those crucial personal connections from day one.
And that human element? It's absolutely non-negotiable. Technology is an amazing tool, for sure, but connection is what drives everything. Think about this. When an employee feels like they have even one friend at work, they are 7 times more likely to be fully engaged. That just goes to show you how a simple buddy system can be one of your most powerful tools.
Now let's look at something really cutting edge. Virtual reality is letting companies create these practice without pressure scenarios. I mean, imagine a brand new retail employee handling a really tough customer, or an engineer learning a complicated safety drill, all inside a totally safe virtual world. It builds real confidence and skill before they even hit the main floor.
All right, so we've covered the why and the what. Now it's time for the how. Let's walk through a super clear 5-step blueprint to build your own engaging, world-class onboarding program.
Okay, step 1, design a blended plan. You gotta mix up the formats to keep people from zoning out. 2, use the right tools for the job. Platforms you can actually manage and that can grow with you. 3, and this one is so important, personalize the experience. A software developer's first week should look way different from a salesperson's. 4, involve real people. Make sure managers and buddies are trained and ready to go. And finally, step 5, this process is never truly done. You have to constantly measure what's working and refine it based on real feedback.
So let's bring it all home and look at the ultimate return on investment. Because putting effort into a great beginning isn't just about making people feel warm and fuzzy. It's about driving real, measurable results for the business. And this right here is the mic drop moment. A massive 94% of employees say they would stay at a company longer if that company just invested in their learning and development. Onboarding is the very first and maybe the most powerful signal you can send that you're a company that invests in its people. And that investment pays off big time in loyalty.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. When a new person joins your organization, what is that journey really like for them? Is the first impression you're making a truly positive and lasting one? Because as we've seen, that initial experience doesn't just shape their first week, it can literally define their entire future with you.